Hi, everybody.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're talking about Dreams of Tomorrow. And this is published by Weird Giraffe Games and designed by Philip Perry. And now let's all take a nice rest so we can get into our dreamscape to describe this game.
I've been having some weird dreams lately. I had a dream where I was a 10-year-old running around and I had to fight off people with Nerf guns.
Nice. I had a dream that our neighbors replaced our mailbox. And in my
How
dream,
dare they?
Ryan was so embarrassed that our mailbox was in such bad condition that they, replaced it for us.
That's our life. That's what we think about and what we think about when we fall asleep. All right. So in Dreams of Tomorrow, this is basically you're weaving together this dream sequence, this dreamscape. You're trying to combine these five or maybe a 6-player or maybe 6 cards, or maybe 4 cards. It doesn't matter. 5 cards in most player counts. Trying to weave together this dream sequence in order to score the most amount of points. Let me show you how it plays. All right, here is our setup for Dreams of Tomorrow. The setup looks a little different based off the number of players, but basically you're going to have your action cards up here across the top, and then all the dreams are going to be acquiring across the bottom. Every player is also going to get a player mat that has all the 3 different resources, so you can track all your different resources. And then also, you're going to get an icon key. There's a ton of different iconography in this game. So this helps you out a lot. And then plus, there's another little chart here that kind of gives you some of the scoring and game and conditions, that kind of things. So what we're trying to do in this game is we are trying to acquire these dreams. It's kind of a 2-step process. So the first thing you're going to do on your turn is you are going to pay that 2 time resource in order to acquire it, and then later on, in order to weave that dream together, you're going to have to pay those 2 paintbrushes and those 2 candles in order to actually put it into your dream weave. The actual name for the resources is experience, creativity, and hope, but we just call them clocks, paintbrushes, and candles. So you're acquiring all these dreams, you're weaving them together. The game is going to end when one player has 5 dreams all in their dream sequence, or if you're playing a 6-player game, it would be 4 dreams. And you're going to finish that round so everybody has the same number of turns, and then you're going to count up your points. The points are going to come from a couple different places. Now, on the cards themselves, there's points at the top right there, so this one's worth 3 points. But also, you'll notice on the top and bottom left corners here, there's some symbols. So when you're dreaming weaves together, sorry, it's kind of moving around here, it's back in focus. When you're dreaming weaves together, you're going to try to match up these symbols as best you can. So this bottom symbol here, if you have these bottom triangles, it's called resonance. So having 2 together is worth 2 points. If you can get 3 together, it's worth 4 points. 4 together is worth 7 points. If you can get all 5 of your cards all having the same symbol across the top or the bottom, it's worth 11 points. Remember, there's a top and a bottom, so there's a lot of points to be had there. And if you had a situation like this, you'd have 2 points for your moons together, 2 points for your triangles. There are cards that have wilds in them, that have a whole variety of symbols. Let me see if I can find one for you. They usually have all 3 symbols, and it counts as all 3, but then nothing on the opposite side. So this one's got 3 on the bottom, nothing on the top. So it'll break up some sequences, but it also might make for a really epic run of sequences at the bottom for that resonance score. So how do we actually play the game? How do we actually take turns? Well, that's where these actions come into play. All right, so these here basically act as 8 independent spots where you can land. On your turn, you can move 1 to 3 spaces clockwise for no cost. So we could go, let's say over there and move 2 spaces. However, you can pay resources of your choice in order to go further. So 4 spaces would cost you 1 resource. If you went 5 spaces, it would cost you 3 resources, or a max of 6 spaces would cost you 6 resources. When you land on a spot, you do whatever the action is. In this case, this is the Catch a Dream action. That's where we're going to use those clocks or that experience to actually kind of buy the dream from the lineup. Or you can go down here to the dream weaving situation. That's this one over here. That can actually take what you've already purchased and weave it together into your sequence using the hope and the creativity resources. This symbol over here stands for activating a dream. So every dream on its bottom right corner has an extra ability. Now you can only use that ability if A, it's to your left of your board, you've purchased it but not actually put it into your dream sequence yet, or if it's on top of your dream sequence. Once it's kind of in a row and kind of buried beneath the other things, you can't use it anymore. But going to that spot or that spot over there allows you to activate one of those dreams that you can see And they can be some really cool abilities, things that let you move around, get your resources, weave more dreams together. You can kind of create a cool chain of events by doing that. Across the bottom here, we have some additional spots where you can get resources. But anytime there's a box down below here with the 3 maple symbols, what that's saying is, all right, so we get the top half. We're going to get 4 candles, 4 of that hope, but everybody else at the table gets 2. So it's kind of a way that you can still get some resources even when it's not your turn. That symbol there stands for a wild resource you get to choose. So we would get 3 resources of our choice, and everybody else would get 1 of the creativity resource. There's some pretty crazy and advanced rules that let you move things around, flip them over even. A lot of those advanced effects come from the bottom by activating some of those dreams. But that can help you manipulate the board a little bit, get to where you need to go, and maybe possibly mess up some of your opponents as well. So remember, you're trying to catch the dreams, weave them together, and then ultimately the game is going to end when one player has 5 of those dreams, all woven together. You're going to count up your points, both from the dreams themselves, as well as those resonance symbols on the left side that we talked about. And whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
So the card art in this is wonderful. I absolutely loved it. I was like here for this card art. I wanted to visit some of these imaginary dream places, which you know is a good sign when you look at the picture and you're like, I want to see what that's all about. But they're not real, so I can't actually go to them. But maybe there's mailboxes there.
I did not see any mailboxes on any of the card art.
No, I was talking about the dream I
Oh,
had.
yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so there was this, essentially amounted to a rondel, an action rondel. It was those 4 cards with a top and a bottom half, and you went around them clockwise. There was ways to mess with that a whole bunch, you know. Usually in a game, a rondel, action rondel, like maybe in Merlin or in, that's another one, Trajan, or, I don't know, like Navigador, any of those kinds of things. It's a fixed circle that you're kind of just going around and taking those actions. But this you could manipulate and mess with. There's ways that you could go counterclockwise. There's ways that you could, move faster or slower. There was ways that you could flip cards over. There was ways that you could rearrange cards. I just really like this was an action rondel, essentially. No one else is going to call it that probably, but it effectively acts the same way as one. And I love how you could mess with it. That was cool.
So this actually has nothing to do with the gameplay. Sometimes themes help you figure out what you're trying to do in the game. This really didn't. It was just pasted on there. Not pasted on there, but you are a dream engineer. And for some reason, I really like that. I think it's really fun, like this imaginary dream engineer, to try to sequence together a dream, to send it into the past so people can solve our problems that we've created. But I just really like a dream engineer. I want to explore that further.
I like these special abilities that were on all the different dream cards, and you can only use them if they're in certain positions. Either off to the left, in your kind of your holding pattern, or on the very top of your actual dream sequence. And it becomes a decision point when you do get one of those in your dream sequence. If the actions are really, really good, you put it on top, or maybe it matches up with the symbols for the resonance better on the bottom. But what do? So I think that's a cool decision point, and I really love some of the special abilities. There's just a ton of crazy stuff they can do. Ryan
had mentioned that the action selection rondel thing earlier, and one of the things that's really nice about that is that when it's another player's turn, all the other players also get to do something. So the game doesn't get bogged down because you're getting resources during the entire play. So by the time it comes to you, you actually have what you need to do what you need. It's not like you have to take 3 or 4 rounds, everybody getting one thing at a time before you can do something. Everybody's getting stuff, so everybody can basically do things.
All right, so this game is extremely icon heavy. There's just symbols all over the place. And it's not, I would not say it's a good thing, in a game. They do give you a reference guide, which is really handy. But then on top of that, some of those actions cards, they combine 2 or 3 of those symbols together in a way that it doesn't necessarily make sense. I see that they're referencing a wild resource, and I see that they're referencing some movement, but I don't know how that exactly, So you really want to make sure that if you're playing this game, keep those little icon symbol charts handy, as well as the rulebook, because you're going to need to reference that constantly. This rivals game Race for the Galaxy or Seven Wonders or something like that in terms of symbology, and having to figure out what that means. That being said, once you get to know it, it's not that bad, but there's a learning curve for sure.
So this game overall, it was fun and I liked it. I don't know if it stands out amongst just all the games that we have, but I did enjoy playing it.
Yeah, I agree. This is a fun one. There's some cool art. There's a cool theme. I like stringing everything together. I love the action selection. But ultimately, did it make me just? Is this a game we're gonna be bringing out every game night? No, probably not. That being said, if someone does suggest it, I'll play it every time. It was fun. I liked it.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to us so you can see our videos as they come out. You can also find us on Facebook, we're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan and Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye everybody.